This week on Brupeg, we take a step back a week and show you what it took to launch the largest ship in the fleet, as well as the smallest ship in the fleet. We go for some sparkly welding, a nice two-tone effect on the bottom of the boat, we get some wind beneath our wings, we stick the gearbox back in the hole, we do some housework inside a fuel tank, we have a little tug in public so that we can slip into our berth. Brupeg was a sunken fishing trawler that was stripped out and ready for the scrapyard. She's just completed a 10-year rebuild that's brought her back to life. With the help of volunteers and funded by our Patreons, community and subscribers, she'll be crewed by passionate people from around the world. If you'd like to be involved and support the project, please consider joining us on Patreon or subscribe to the channel. There's a link in the description below. It's time to start putting our anodes on. So Bert's gone through and cleaned up the ends of the anode. These are going to be welded on.
We would have loved to have bolted these, we just have run out of time, so on another haul out we'll probably cut everything off and change them over to bolts. But right now, welding's the thing that's going to get us launched.
We're using stick welding here because it's much easier in the wind. It is blowing probably 20 knots at times, but also I'm not too stressed if these welds aren't crash hot because it's not going to fall off. There's enough weld on there to hold it. It's not a structural thing. So yeah, 20 anodes on Brupeg now.
That number is actually a calculation. It's every 1.5 metres you have one, so we've spaced it that way. Actually the boat originally had that, so we've only just added a few we need.
So it's anti-foul morning and I've still got heaps to do. We've done our testing of anti-foul and everything. The anti-foul's all good to go. We've got two guys arriving to give us a hand with the anti-foul. So Tom, he's an American bloke that's sailed in with his wife. They've just arrived recently. Tony is a local. Tony's helped us a couple of times on the boat. He's also coming down. Both of those guys will be here about 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that, to give us a hand. So I've got to get this done beforehand, but we've got a Patreon roundtable to discuss launch procedures and immediate plans after launch, and then that's happening at 8 AM. So I've only got about an hour to get all of this stuff done, so press on. Need to go around areas like this, areas like that bung that have got bare steel, bolts, etc. where we've welded any little bits. You can sort of see white splotches around the hull. Anything like that needs to be coated before we can put anti-foul over top.
Roll up my window, don't know where I'm bound. Driving by the river, there's a hole in the ground. Hand-me-down t-shirt, sticking on.
Right, that touch-up's done, so there's a few white spots around the boat. A couple under the bottom of the keel, some on top there. Where we sort of blasted through some paint up here, bungs, etc. Now we need to go through and start taping up this waterline.
Catch the moment, you've got the first moment of it going on.
Yeah, just make sure your cameras are insured so the lenses don't break.
So Tony's underneath, he's getting some paint on the keel cooling. You can see down here, Tom and me are going to be working on getting some tape put around the lines. So the guys are just getting on with the anti-fouling. So we've got Tom mixing up a new can. That's going into our big paint bucket. We've got these big, I don't know what they are, 15-litre paint buckets. We've got Tony down here. He's doing all the bits that it's hard to get to with a big roller. He's done all these pipes. So now me and Berk are going to get in and start doing some gearbox work. That's really cool.
And however slowly time destroys
starboard side, coat 2. Righto, well here we are on what's Burke up to, Cameron?
Yeah. It's excellent. Something like that.
I think it'll look nice.
I just realised I'm going to use the blue tape as the bottom one.
Yeah,
I don't have to pull it off.
exactly.
We're going to do leading edges
Yeah.
and just, little bits and pieces like doing the struts for the wings.
Yeah, nice.
Everything's got minimum 2 coats.
Solving a few world problems while we go, you're going to have far less to sort out.
You can see here the bench. The bench that came from Gordon, who was doing the trawler about 4 years ago. When they finished rebuilding that, he gave it to us, and it's gone. This bench will go up the back, so we can keep working. Just had breakfast. It's day before we launch for the first time of 2. Dean will explain. It's changed.
So we were going to launch at 8:30 in the morning. We need a high tide to launch. Brupeg draws 2.2 metres or 6,000 to 7,000 feet. I don't know what the conversion is off the top of my head.
10 bananas?
10 bananas, yeah. And at low tide where the slings go in the water, there's only 1 metre of water. So we have to launch on a high tide in order to get Brupeg to float. So that limits when we can launch, and also it limits what jobs the marina can do around launch because of the depth of the boat. So we're going to be launching.
We're launching tomorrow as planned.
Yeah.
We're being held for an hour.
Yeah.
And then we'll check for leaks and everything. And then they're going to pull us back up, and we'll stay in the slings. They're going to sit us up on the hard on the slings.
Yeah.
And then first thing in the morning, 6:30 Friday, we're going in.
So like most things on Brupeg, we get to have 2 goes at it.
Very good.
So
I hadn't thought of it like that. Yeah, that's exactly right.
So 2 days from now. So first launch 1 day from now. Second launch and final launch will be 2 days from now. And then we're going to embark on our first journey, which is going to be exciting. We're going to go
4 meters?
4 to 5 meters sideways, something like that. Yeah.
Port side?
Yeah. So we're basically going to be put in the water. We're not going to have a functioning engine at this stage because we're going to do the alignment in the water, as we previously discussed. And we're going to essentially get towed to our berth, which is right next to where the boat launches. So
Yeah.
Jess has been working about 16-hour days for the last week. So the delirium's starting to set in.
Yeah, you do start sort of,
Yeah.
yeah. It's quite amazing, isn't it? All of us,
Yeah.
last night was not pleasant
No.
on board. All of us were grumpy, all of us were exhausted. No one wanted to move to close the doors.
Yeah, we were
Just
shattered.
get the bugs. All of us are doing really well, actually.
So
Trying to eat enough and drink enough water and...
we're nearly ready. There's a few more bits and pieces we have to tidy up. Basically disconnect the boat from the land and put all of the stuff that we've accumulated, kayaks, dinghies and steel and a whole bunch of stuff, workbenches and what have you. That's all got to come onto the boat.
we're gonna not have hot water now.
Yeah.
The hot water tank was an old one. Scary.
Yeah.
You don't want to look in there.
I think if we picked it up, we're going to leave the insides of the hot water tank on the ground and the outside is going to lift up.
So we're not going to have hot water for a bit. We're going to find an alternative until we build our stainless one.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's going to be a bit weird actually. There's a lot of changes coming, and none of us are good with change.
No.
It's going to be fun. Grumpy Poo's on board.
It's okay. You're not that bad, darling.
But we all are very good with that. We all understand that, it's a lot of work and a lot of change, and it's getting hot again. It's something you
Yeah.
can't see. I'm sitting here sweating. It's really hot. We're getting back out there in the sun in a couple of minutes, and we're putting the last things up on the deck.
Yeah.
And putting everything else in the ute, and it's going to be taken to the recyclers and everything. The
Yep.
last load. So
We've taken 650 kgs worth of scrap metal to the recyclers, and we've probably got another 150 to go. And we're taking a lot with us. So you saw us build the metal racks up the top. That's probably half full. We need to add another stack of metal
So we're a work boat. You know, most channels that build a boat and then they go in the water and then they, cruise. It's not how it works with us. We're a work boat, so we're going in the water and we're continuing on with the project build. Hence why there's a lot of stuff. We're taking a lot of parts. We're taking a lot of metal.
Yeah.
There's a lot to build. I'm staring at a wooden door that needs to be an aluminium door right now.
Yeah.
So there's heaps.
The only thing that's really going to change is the background. The engineering is still going to carry on just as full on as it always
Jumping in
has.
the water instead of going in the bathroom for a shower in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we get to play a lot more in the water. There's so much to build, and it's kind of one of the things we really love about this is the building and the learning, the welding, and developing a boat to be kind of extraordinary, really, and doing it with people we really care about. So we're going to be on the marina for a week or 2 weeks, depending on how the chock fast and the alignment and the putting the motor together and getting everything cleared away goes. We've got the registration. We're registered to New Zealand. Whoop, whoop, the motherland.
Yep.
We've got the insurance as of last night. We paid for that. And we've got the, form. Woo, give that to the office and we can launch.
Yep.
But there's quite a bit to do in those 2 weeks, and then we're hoping to get Burke to Musgrave Island, which is in the Great Barrier Reef, and then we're coming back to the mainland to drop Burke. He's going to be heading down to Duncan, and Duncan's going to take him for a flight before he heads out to Germany for a well-earned break.
Yeah.
So a month to 2 months he's going to be there, and then he'll be coming back with us. This is our new little cat house. She loves it. We found it at the local tender centre, which is like a recycling place. She just adores it. She comes in here and then attacks as we walk past. Oh, okay, should we go? So this is what we're keeping. This is the stuff that was around the boat. We're putting the bench back up here because we've got to have a workspace that we can grind and stuff. It's a bit there.
So plan over the next sort of few hours is find a home for all of this stuff. There's 3 outboards to put up here, bench grinders, all of our like metalworking saws and stuff like that. A lot of this stuff is going to go down into the engine room. We've got fuel heaters over the background, all of our power tools. We've got bilge pumps, hydraulic pumps. There's a raft of stuff. There's a spare compressor down the back.
Like I was saying, we're a build boat and we're a work boat, so it's not the same as it's not about margaritas on the back. It's about how many parts.
It's about air compressors and fucking outboards.
How many parts can we stow?
Right.
Just gotta move this up the back. We'll pull that up on the front over here. This is the paint. We've gone through all our paint and everything. This is what we're keeping.
So we've got a few variations of paint, primers and top coats and things like that, and then we've got our hull paints here, so 2 different greys that we use, and then a bunch of epoxy and whatever else, a couple of fuel filters that have to come with us for mounts and so on.
And if you look this way, beautiful. We've got a line. Thank you, Tony and Tom and Brent.
Yeah, it was amazing. The guys all turned up and pitched in. It was bloody awesome. They put so much work into this.
We've got to get the anchor and the chain up on deck. Mag drill. Dan was preparing for a bigger roller yesterday. We're going to pull that back in. So we've got to get this kayak with us. We've got to get that up on deck. Duncan is taking his kayak back home when he comes this time for the launch. We've got some scrap metal here we've got to find a place for. Our dinghy is going to sit on the back deck for launch or around us, and we'll get this, we'll take that with us. It's looking pretty barren actually, it's pretty good. It's getting serious, the pink shirt's on.
Dusted it off.
Look how clean it is.
I know. This has been specifically dry cleaned. This was hermetically sealed for launch day. We've been saving this particular shirt for some time. So one thing with anti-foul is the more you've got on of new anti-foul, the longer you can stay between haul outs. So got sort of general rule is a minimum of 2 coats, and you want to maybe do 3 around your waterline. Brupeg's a little different. So we had 45 litres of anti-foul that we needed to put on the boat. It takes about 20 litres to do a coat. However, the guys managed to get 5 coats on the bow and 6 all the way around the rim, so about 1 metre down from the waterline, which is where you get the most growth and stuff like that. And there's 2 or 3 coats everywhere else on the boat.
And the name up above is going to be weighted today. So right now what we've got to do is get the metal up, and I'll show this one here. Actually, we need to do the last check that all of that's coming.
Yes.
Let's do that, and then we're going to hold it up.
Yeah. So crane's going to be in use for a fair bit today. So this little tank here needs to be alloy welded up. This is, there we go. This is our header tank for the Cummins. So we've got our pressure relief cap here, and then we've just got a fill cap over here. I don't know how many litres that is, probably 10, 12 litres, something like that. Need to get this put together before we start the engine up. So this is one of the early jobs you'll see us welding up in the water.
Look what I found. Memories. Going to the scrapyard.
Been a while since we played with that.
Here she comes like the rays of the sun, she shines.
Time to get those back on the gearbox so we can lift them in and have the gearbox and the engine sitting together for launch. So the bolts are all cleaned up, putting a bit of high strength Loctite on. First one's on. Time to the second one.
Alright, ready?
Yeah.
I need to go forward that far.
Yeah, nothing.
Okay. How's that going?
Much more. Almost in line.
Okay, things have progressed significantly. I need to undo the fuel tank hatch, climb inside, and do some inside the tank welding, because the bung that I was trying to get to, I'm never going to seal it up from the outside, so I got to seal it up from the inside. What that means is climb in, vacuum out the last of the diesel. There's probably 5-10 litres of diesel in there. Vacuum that out, then get in there with dishwashing liquid and a hose, scrub that tank out, climb inside, settle the ventilation systems up so it takes the argon away, and start welding. Clean her out again.
What's it?
Oh, yeah. Thanks. I'm so confident that this is going to work great that I've come in with one tungsten. So yeah, she's all cleaned up, ready to weld. Let's get this done. Jess has been helping me while I'm in the tank welding. She's been my go-to person for amps and everything else that needed to be changed. But she's also tidying up all the stuff in the engine room in order to launch. So it's complete chaos in here at the moment, and that's okay. Not too stressed about that. We will be emptying all of this stuff out in a day's time or so when we go to launch, but we've moved the gearbox that was over here, we've moved that back into place where it should be sitting, and yeah, it's not obviously not bolted down, it's just sitting on its adjuster screws, but basically the engine and everything's back in place, ready to be aligned. It does get quite warm inside that tank, as you might imagine, a black boat in the Australian sun. So it's taken most of the day, and I'll show you the end result. Pretty confident she's not going to leak now. So there we go. So tugged all the way around, and it's fairly similar inside as you saw earlier. But the reason why it was leaking was there was a big hole up in here, and yeah, that was causing it to be a bit awful, and there was no way we were ever going to seal it. So I'm happy that we've managed to do it this way. It's a pain in the neck having to do it this way at the last minute, but oh well, should be good forever now. And the fun news, tomorrow we're doing exactly the same thing on this guy. Right, now that that side is welded up, we can transfer the fuel from one side to the other. I need to put the hatch on obviously to do that, but we'll get that fuel across. That allows me then to open up that second tank bung and replace that. That should be relatively straightforward to do now that I know my process. I've kind of figured it out with the other tank. Grind the bottom off, smash it out with a hammer, get in there with a die grinder and just clean it all up, and we're into it. So yeah, tomorrow we'll get that done. Next job that we need to crack on to, we actually need to get our anchor, 112 kg anchor, and our 16mm chain. It's got to all get up onto the boat. Our winch is not running because it needs our main engine to be spinning over in order to get the winch running. It is operational, it's just because the engine's not working we don't have a winch. Doesn't actually matter. So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using the crane that's up on the foredeck to lift all of that gear up onto the deck. Jess is going to jump on the A-frame here and get the name painted in. We want that in before we launch because it's much easier on the hard than when we're in the water. So we're getting that part of it done. Yeah, me and Burke will get on the anchor and Jess will do that name. So Burke's got all the bungs in the front end of the boat, they're epoxied in. He's got the locking pins in the wings, so the pins themselves can't actually come out now, they're all good. We need to get those wings up as well, so that's a job that has to happen in the next sort of day. He's done both sides, same deal, both wings have to go up. And finally, one of the jobs that's turning out to be a real pain in the neck is getting this diesel. We need to get this diesel into the rear keel tank. So we've got a 250 litre tank at the back which does the cooling of the propeller shaft, so it has to be full of either oil or liquid of some sort. Diesel is a great penetrant, so that's what we're going to be using. We want to clean that tank out because we want to use it as a hydraulic tank later. So at the moment it's had used motor oil in. We're going to swap it over and put old diesel in it, which is going to loosen everything up, and then when we get rid of that diesel we're going to have a nice clean tank for our new hydraulic oil system. So that has to get in, and to do that we have to move the electric motor that's sitting in the engine room because the little air bleed bung is sitting right underneath it. It's a long story, we didn't know this, but of course it happens at the 11th hour. So anyway, Burke's up in the engine room right now getting that green electric motor moved so that we can start getting the oil into that tank. What we needed to do, this is our fill port here with the blue line going in, that's going to put diesel in, but that tiny little hole just down there did have a little screw, a fine thread screw in it, but that's also our air breather and our dipstick, so we need to be able to have that open in order to fill this tank. How's that going, Beck?
Yep, it's coming.
Cool. I'll carry on. So what we're looking for is this level. It'll probably come down to about there somewhere. Roughly 200 litres per one of these lines, approximately. So about there somewhere. I think that tank's going to be getting full.
When I wake up early in the morning, and when I come home at night, everything is
You happy there?
covered in darkness.
Okay, so that's about 225, 250 litres, something like that. So now that the back tank's got maybe 200 to 250 litres roughly of diesel, we're going to fill the forward tank, which is the one that sits directly under the engine and gearbox. We're not going to fill that full, obviously. We need to be able to put our waste oil in, but we need some diesel in there to slosh around for the foreseeable future, and diesel's awesome at stopping rust. So we're going to use the rest of this. I reckon there's probably 300 litres in that maybe. We're going to dump that into that tank, and that's going to help us deal with corrosion, and we'll pump that out when we can, when we get to another haul out facility once we've got a few oil changes in there.
She's got a ticket to my heart. Ticket to my heart.
There's a twist on it.
Uno, dos, tres, hey, yo.
Do you need a hand or can you get it done? That could be alright. Yeah. It's gonna take a while. Right. It's gonna take a while. Yeah.
That's awesome. I was just checking you were okay. Would you like a little something on to watch? Yeah? Let me put it on for you, my darling. Good girl. Hey, we choose one for you? Yes, we will. Yes, we will. Oh, look, one of your favourites. He's right there. Let's see that one. Ooh, so noisy, isn't it? Oh. Here we go. How's that? Can you stay there? You're okay. You're okay, babe. You're okay. I know it's so noisy. They'll be soon finished. Yes. So, morning of the first launch. A little bit of chaos, but we're actually onto things. Chaos, chaos, cat. After the sounds you're hearing of the anchor chain going in. Duncan and Judy have arrived. Stewie's arrived to help us. This stuff is what's left from downstairs that needs to go into the engine room. There's not a lot of room, but we'll figure it out. We've got a workbench on the back, our temporary workbench. We're going to make a permanent something out there to work on things. A bit more stuff stowed around. Duncan's got his kayak on his car. You can see we've tried to clear the sides. I'm just going to take you up. Looking pretty good. Wash the boat down, get the dust off.
This is like a professional anchor chain will have a bigger shackle. You can see that the physical size. This one's way bigger than that one. and it's so that you can get a good shackle in there rather than a pissy little shackle. Most anchor chains are just a length of chain, and they end up having a smaller shackle than what the chain is. A proper anchor chain will have a bigger length of chain at the end, for that reason. Oh. That's why I had to have this end up last.
Yeah, right. Gotcha. Method in the madness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I pulled it up and I saw it, I was like, oh fuck, it's the other way around.
You look so much less exhausted than you usually are.
Yeah. So let's grab all of the winch bits, put it back together. So that and the disc go on first. Disc first. Yep. Sheet. Hang on, goes like that. Okay, now the gypsy. Doesn't matter which way. Now these are brake discs.
Yep.
So then that goes in there, and then this is just a pressure plate. So if we ever need to, I can't remember if I've shown you this or not, if we ever need an anchor and the hydraulics are out, you can undo this and this will free spin. So you can dump the anchor and then you can crank it back up and these will stop it. So this is a real fine thread so that we can get super high tension.
What are you going to do now, Dame? Are you open to putting the gas bottles up there?
Yeah.
And then we've got to disconnect everything around the boat. I think we're in good time. They're not doing the other boat yet.
Disconnected everything.
Yeah.
Oh,
the kitchen
the water.
sink.
Yeah, we can leave that for the last 5 minutes. But
So just a stuff off the
Yeah,
back. There's a
just-
couple of welders on the ground and
yeah. Chain. Yeah, done.
Oh.
Looks better.
Woohoo.
Looks like Engerwich again.
Yeah. Let's pack all this stuff up.
Okay, that's me gone.
Yes. It's good.
There's more room up here than I thought. I thought the anchor would take up all the space.
Yeah, it's such a big thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, good. Good job, baby.
Thanks.
So this is us ready to go. So you've tied things down, eh?
The kayak isn't tied, but that's probably okay.
We'd have to swing pretty hard in the stand.
I think we have to do jumps.
Yeah.
0G. Lasers are tied down, the mast and stuff are tied down. Because they can top load the sides, so they're all lashed down. So that's the boat coming in. That was, I think that was second. And there's a trawler going out after this. So we're going to be any minute now. Jess undoing the last of the hot water with a one-way screwdriver.
It's nice and hard. We need to change the blade.
Yeah, that blade is, it's there for show more than anything else.
So this is the big disconnect, isn't it? Disconnecting from the ground.
Pretty much.
I think we've only just got our water system over here,
Everyone thought we were rusted onto the ground when in fact we were actually held there with the water tank.
hoses.
Hoses. So this tank's getting binned, it's knackered. It's all rusty on the bottom, you can see, and all that sort of stuff, so we're not going to bother trying to take that with us or anything. So we won't have hot water for the first week until we solve that.
You're not bathing for the first week?
No, we're not bathing for the
No
first
bathing?
week.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah,
How
I'm
about
sure we're usually on board not having hot water.
Yeah,
We'll be in the marina, so
we will be. Yeah.
We're just used to having them on board. Yeah. Blunt blade.
Do you need Japanese karate sounds? Hey!
Almost done. Done.
So just finished racking the catamaran, Irene. I think they got one more boat to go. I can't remember if they're putting it in the water or pulling it out the water, but it's a trawler. There's possibly one down there, I'm not sure. We'll see in a minute. Numerous rubbish runs over to the skip. We've got Duncan, he's up for 2 days, and Stewie, he's come from Brisbane, I think. He's heading north up the coast. These two guys are helping us for a couple of days. Right, Jess is unloading some random bits and pieces, and over the back, very last job I think, me and Beck are working on our sea strainers. So we've got 2 of these on the boat. Basically it's a ball valve behind there, it's a seacock ball valve type arrangement, but you have these little grates over top of them. So these have been anti-fouled, you can see there's 1,000,001 holes going through there, and they bolt on there and stop weed going inside the boat. These inlet ports essentially for like your seawater pumps and things like that, so you can pull lots of water into the boat, or if you had say like a raw water cooled engine, you can pull lots of water into the boat, but you don't get weed going up and blocking off all your passages and things inside the boat itself. So it's kind of a safety thing. The issue that we're having is obviously the bolts have been anti-fouled over. We can't tell how big the bolts are, but we also we've never had these bolted onto the boat, so we don't know if they're imperial or metric. They're going to be imperial, and we also don't know what size they are, so we're just going to re-tap them. We're going one step bigger and we're going metric, and we're just going to get this done, get some paint on there, because we're the next boat to launch.
Oh, got everything. Got the chair, you don't want the chair up, hey?
2 in one go.
Oh, that's so good. It's a long one.
Oh, we need that extension on the crane, eh?
Yeah, we do.
Might do that in the next, not that long. It's just a piece of box engine.
Here's just a little recap of last episode when Brupeg was lifted off the beds, off the stands, and went for its first wet test. This week we finally put Brupeg in the water, and she rests in her new berth for a little while.
When I sat down in Parramatta town, where the river runs a streak of brown, all the shanty lasses they gathered round, and with a row and a roar we'd make this sound. With an upshade rises, upshade rises from the bed. With an upshade rises, whiskey warned about the head. Took a highborn lady for a whirl across the floor, her hair unfurled. You had caught the wink beneath the coat when we awoke in the kitchen with the servant girl. With an upshade rises, upshade rises from the bed. With an upshade rises, whiskey warned about the head. The parson's daughter to the steps of her father's house, her sins confessed. Drank a whole egg wine and thought me blessed when I knelt at the altar neath the Sunday best.
How many leaks, Jess? 0 leaks.
So the marina guys tucked Brupeg into the bay for the night, all snug, ready for a sleep, and the next morning we'll do the final release into the wild. Meanwhile, very happy Damien, there were no leaks. We all were very, very happy. Well done, Dame. Well done, everyone.
It's 5 a.m. and no one's here. The gates aren't open. You see the sun's barely up over the horizon. Cat seems to be relaxed, and no one's up. I'm the first up on the boat. I'm making coffee. Jess is barely awake in here. She's bundled up. I think there's almost like a protest going on, actually. I'm not entirely sure.
Good description.
Protesting?
Yeah, protesting, getting out of bed again early. Even though it is the launch this morning, I will be up soon.
She says as she buries herself more into the pillows.
We're all so tired.
Yeah. So it was pretty big relief yesterday having the boat go in the water and there'd be no leaks. It's not something that we were anticipating. We thought there'd be something that we have to fix, but there's just nothing, which is a pretty huge relief off us. We just assumed we'd be doing 24 hours of welding or something crazy overnight, trying to, get everything up to spec, and then but coffee time. Jess, as Ringo Starr once famously said, you've got to get up to get down. So it's 5:38. Jess has just woken up Burke, so we've got a couple of small jobs to get done this morning. So up on the foredeck, right at the front, I need to grab our great big long stern anchor ropes, currently buried down here in the anchor well. Need to get those out, put them on the back corners of Brupeg, and then we've got to get the little dinghy and the 3-horse outboard, throw that in the drink just behind us over here, because when we're in the slings, when we get dropped down, Patrick's tug, the little red tug you'll see soon, is going to pull us out of the slings, and then the workboat is going to be positioned on our starboard side, or the downriver side, and then they're going to push us sideways, and then our little dinghy is going to take some ropes around, these 2 big ropes that I've got to get out, and they're going to be hooked onto the wharf, and then we're going to manually pull ourselves in with ropes. So they've done that a bunch of times here with boats. It's we're going to be running pretty slow, so we'll be lucky if we get up to 1/4 of a knot boat speed. So none of this is going to happen fast, but we have to do the ropes in order to get the boat to go backwards. Worst case scenario, Patrick can push us forward with the tug, but we don't want to do that because we're going to be nose to nose, and our bow's quite a bit taller than his, so we're not 100% sure how our anchor roller is going to work with his bow, because he's had an anchor roller fitted on the front of his tug. It's got a big blunt nose, but now it's got this big anchor roller sticking out of the front, so we're not sure how that's going to work if we have to push. If we have to, we will push though. Okay, before we get too far into it, I've noticed a couple of things. It smells like salt, I can hear seabirds and palm trees rustling, and this is in contrast to normally smelling like dust and hearing sandblasting.
Should we get the dinghy down?
Yep.
Is there power to the crane, or do you want pulleys?
I've got the rope at the top, so you can
Coming down.
Yeah.
The Burke's just checking that there's gas in the outboard. The guys are just finished with the rope. I'm just going to move the ute. I've got a bit of breeze this morning. Morning! Looks like we're on time this morning. Got it.
So dinghy's going in the water. This is Patrick's tug. So it's a private boat now, but it used to be a BHP harbour tug. So you can see it's got a big blunt nose, but it has had a anchor roller added to it. So we're going to have to work around that, but we've got a few plans there. What we're doing is throwing the dinghy together now. We're going to chuck that outboard on it and get the dinghy running and everything. So Burke will probably deal with that side of it and get that up and going, because when the boat goes into the slings just here, we need to get the 2 ropes that are on the stern out around that pile and back to the wharf here. So that's why we've got the wee dinghy, just to buzz those ropes around. Tiny enough that we can get in and out under piles and do all sorts of stuff if we need to. So that's the plan. We've got a wee bit of breeze, probably 8 knots of breeze.
Yeah.
Um,
Direction too.
yeah, about 8 knots of breeze, right direction. It's sort of blowing us back into the wharf, which is awesome. So the guys are going to get that going. Morning.
Morning.
So we got pretty much the same crew that was on the boat yesterday. Got a few people already turning up, a few people, viewers and so on, already turning up to have a bit of a look.
Yeah, fancy you meeting you here with the camera.
So Jess has moved the ute, ready to get out of the way and go. The workers from the yard are here. Jess has already gone through and anti-fouled underneath. We've done a second coat of anti-foul underneath, so we had a little bit of anti-foul coming off, doing some funny stuff just up in here. She's already gone through and dealt with that. So we've got 2 coats on that, put a little bit more on some of the areas of the prop and things like that. But we're ready to go. Everything's done pretty much.
6:40.
It's what?
20 now. 6:20 now.
Oh, okay, well let's not do it 5 minutes ago.
So once we're in,
Yeah.
he's just going to come up, grab the rope, and
We need 2 people on Pat's boat, one on the bow, one on him driving. Then he comes up and grabs 2 ropes. We've got 2 ropes hooked up, ready to go from the back. Righto, we're ready. Shore power, disconnected, on the deck here. Got our lines going up. Got away. Guys warming up the hydraulics. Guys at the front here, ready to go. So Trev's bowman, he's doing our rope work up here. We got back on the drone. Jess and me are running around with cameras. Right, there we go. So Tom, down in the dinghy down there, he's our rope boy. So these guys here, he's gonna swing the ropes around the end. So Duncan and Pat down there on the red boat. So the plan, little workboat down there, they're getting that set up. They're going to put that on our port side, not starboard, because of the wind today. We don't think we're going to need much of a push. We think we're going to need probably a bit of a shunt to stop us. I think they're getting the red boat ready to go any minute now. All right. I think we're good. We got the tug heading out. So he's going to position that bow to bow. And then eventually he will nudge us out.
They can take a little bit of pressure.
I think he's doing it now.
Righto. Off we go then.
Yeah, well, currently we're going. Got 2 guys on the wharf, ready to pull lines. Yeah, that wind's definitely pushing us sideways. There we go, it's going sideways. Tug's alright, he's just holding position. So you can kind of get scene of where we are. We're a bit sideways. So Trev needs to push the front across. Can you push the bow across? You right?
Yeah. Just let go of the rope, hook the other one down.
Go down. Yep. Slow us down. Yep. Alright, so good. Getting bloody close to piles, we're going quite fast. Go. Whole team calling. Ease off on the bow. Yeah. Ease.
2 meters. 1 meter from the dock. Half a meter.
That's it. Nice work, fellas. Nice, we're all in. Okay. So now we need to get some ropes on the sides. You can hear clapping behind me. Alright, so we've got Solonika, he's zooming off. Alright, let's start tying up some piles. Guys need a fender, so we're dragging big berther here, down over the back.
Back the rail here, so this will fall off, but then the rope comes in. Yeah.
I got another one if you need it. Alright, so we're sitting a little bit skew.
Yeah,
The boys are organising.
With this?
Yeah.
Alright.
No. I go, what the hell? It's not moving at all.
Can you pull us with the full horsepower of that?
That's not really tight in.
Not without sinking.
While we're close to the pile just in front of us here, we're going to throw a loop around it. Not pull on this one yet. Get Tony out there in his boat getting some shots.
Oh yeah.
And then down below we've got the dinghy.
Sorry.
Tom's just doing a lap of the pole. So just give it a heave and then just wait. Let the boat just steam over. Alright. Right, good your side though? Yeah. Okay. Do you want to have a hunt for the drone?
My guess would be it's landed in the bay.
It's either in the bay or in the drink.
Yep.
Yep. Wicked. So the drone battery went flat and it's landed and the camera's gone blank and we can't find it.
Oh, yeah.
So we think it's gone back and landed in the...
Hopefully.
Step aboard for the first time while it floats. Hey! Thank you!
Thank you to everyone who's got us to here. All our amazing patrons, volunteers, supporters, sponsors, viewers, subscribers, family and friends. And a big thank you to Bundaboo Port Marina and yard workers Lloyd and the team for their kindness and support over the years. It's a huge milestone. Now, on to the next job.